A grand old time. That's what we're calling this brand new series. Just when you think it can't get any better, we have tons of new country music legends, as well as some of the same country music stars you've grown to know and love. It seems everyone wanted to come out for this latest Country's Family Reunion. Hosted by Whisperin' Bill Anderson, this series promises to be just what we named it, a grand old time. So sit back, relax as we strike up the band and get our toes tapping for Country's Family Reunion, a grand old time.
No place like the family reunion circle. Lots of familiar faces, new folks here. Welcome to everybody. Before we go anywhere else, boys and girls, give me your left hand, because everybody may not have seen this. Look what Jeannie Seely is sporting on the third finger of her left hand.
There you go.
Thank you, Bill.
And right away, tell everybody I didn't give it to you.
No, just so everybody knows. No, I'm engaged to Gene Ward, who is a wonderful, wonderful man. He's an attorney here in Nashville, has a lot of stories he could share, because at one time he represented Webb Pierce, Farron Young, Lefty Frizzell, and Ernest Tubb, all at the same time. At the same time.
And now he's marrying Jeannie Seely?
Yeah. He lives dangerously, doesn't he?
I've got to, this is awful, but does this mean you won't be singing Don't Touch Me?
No, we're still going to sing Don't Touch Me. He is an attorney, after all, so he knows the business side, too.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very, very happy, and I'm thrilled. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the well wishes from my extended family. That means an awful lot. And he said so many came by and congratulated him. I wished him well, I think. But we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
What a segue this is going to be, and I didn't realize it until just right at this minute. One of our favorites here on the family reunion, Jim Ed Brown, who travels a lot with us on our road shows. I want you to tell this story. The other night, we were doing one of the road shows in Branson.
Oh.
And you had on a turtleneck sweater.
Right.
Around your neck, you had a gold chain and a wide gold band hanging on the chain. And I asked you backstage, actually on stage, I think, I asked you if that was your wedding ring. And you told a story that's just an incredible story. And I want you to share it with everybody.
Well, my father, this was in 1929, he and my mother married. And he had this wedding band. Well, working in the woods and the logwoods and all around, and all, it's awfully hard to wear any jewelry, because if you sweat a lot, you'd lose it. But anyway, he couldn't wear that ring. So he took it and he put it in a bucket of bolts, hoping he'd never see it again. That bucket of bolts ended up, this is 1929, the bucket of bolts ended up in South Louisiana. And a niece of mine, a distant niece, she called me one day and she said, I am so tired of this bucket of bolts, taking it from one place to another, because every time they move, they have to take it. She said, I'm going through it, and I find this ring, and the initials inside, there's only one Brown that has these initials. And she told me what they were, and I said, well, would you send me the ring? So I did. She did. And I took it to the jeweler and had it polished up and all. But I wear that for my dad.
All these years that had been down in that bucket of bolts.
Bucket of bolts.
And she found it. Was it shiny? Had it gotten
no,
dirty?
Oh, it was, it's green and everything else.
Yeah.
But evidently she was looking at everything she threw away. And I sure am glad she was, but she just found it, and it's this ring, and it's beautiful.
And it had been there for how many years?
Well, since 1929.
Since 1929, and she found it in your wearing. I think that's incredible.
Yeah.
It's a great story.
Well, let me tell you something, honey. I ain't going to work in a sawmill, and this ain't going to end up in a bucket of bolts.
And that ain't no little rock either.
No, that's right. How about a song from Jim Ed to kick everything off?
Why not? Can I come up? May I come up there?
Sure. Come up here. How about plug the band?
Look up, Jim.
Where am I at?
You're
Here I am.
attached.
Who am I? Where am I? What am I?
That Neil, see, he's right there, man.
Yes, sir.
He's saving people right and left.
Don't plug any cord for anybody.
Well, Neil did it again. He saved somebody.
I didn't know I was going to get to open everything up.
Oh, yeah.
Can I put this in my pocket? Hi, y'all. Hey. I'll tell you what, there's nothing greater than being in the South. And when you're in the South, you can get Southern loving every time you want it. So, fellas, if you please. I've been loved in Cincinnati, Evansville, and in St. Paul. All the gals were pretty, and I ain't trying to find no fault. There's a gal in the Windy City I can't forget about. But if you want love like you ain't had love, go south, south, south. Southern loving, take that Southern loving every time. There's a sweet thing in Augusta, got the softest lips of all. When she kisses on you, you just climb right up the wall. There's a nurse I know in Memphis, got love for a middle name. If she ever gets her hands on you, it's shame, shame, shame. Southern loving, take that Southern loving every time. Now everybody's heard about that Southern hospitality, but that ain't why the sunny South has got its hold on me. There's a teacher down in Dallas I ain't seen in quite some time. Just to think about her burns a hole right through my mind. There's a gal in Bogalusa, just can't love enough. I'll tell you about her with just 3 words. She's tough, tough, tough. Southern loving, take that Southern loving every time. Oh, listen to that band. Now everybody's heard about that Southern hospitality, but that ain't why the sunny South has got its hold on me. Southern loving, take that Southern loving every time. It's Southern loving, take that Southern loving every time. Thank you, Bill. Don't stop. Go ahead. What an audience. What a bunch we've got here, Bill.
Well, we always do, and it's, as I said, always great to welcome folks that haven't been with us before. The fellow sitting across from me with the, I don't know, is that a Southern hat, Dallas? Is that like a derby?
Actually, it's an Italian-style hat.
Italian? Well, Southern Italy then. Anyway, songwriters are my heroes, and I know they're the heroes of so many people in this room. There is nobody who has written any better songs than Dallas Frazier has written over the years. So good to have you. You were going to be with us on our songwriters show, and I think you had a death in your family and you had to leave town.
My little brother passed. Yes.
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm so glad you're here today.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
I don't know who set up the seating arrangement, but you're right across from Jack Green, who happened to record one of the biggest songs that you've ever written, called There Goes My Everything.
Jack did several of my songs, yeah. Jack's one of my heroes.
You grew up out in California, didn't you?
I did. I was born in Oklahoma and was raised in California. My family moved out there during World War II.
Now, what's the story? Because I know when you were young, Ferlin Husky became very involved in your life in some way. What's that story?
Well, I entered a contest that Ferlin had at an old dance hall called the Rainbow Gardens in Bakersfield, and I was 12 years old, and I won the contest, and Ferlin offered me a job that night, and I started working with Ferlin when I was 12.
Singing or playing guitar?
Singing. I was singing at the time, yes, and I moved in with him and traveled some with him, and that was my. And those of you who know Ferlin, you know what kind of thing I had going on with me at 12 years old.
Was Simon there too?
Yeah, I finally got used to Simon. Yeah.
How old were you when you first discovered that you could write songs or wanted to write songs?
I was about 10 or 11 years old, Bill. I still have a copy of a song I wrote when I was 11. Called
What's the name of it?
Tongue-Tied Tenderfoot Dave. And I was writing about, of course, be it having country roots and all, I was writing about bars and stuff like that when I was 11 years old. I didn't know there was any other kind of songs to write, you know. And but one of the verses says, "Wish I could go in a bar and drink my fill without taking one of them headache pills. But I guess I'll never be that brave, because my name is Tongue-Tied Tenderfoot Dave."
At 12 years old, you wrote
I was
11 years old.
Yeah, I was 11. My folks weren't musical, but I had an uncle that was, and he really inspired me a lot. His name was Manton Laughlin, and Manton really inspired me a lot. And
well, you wanted to be an artist too, didn't you?
yes, sir. I signed with Capitol Records when I was 14 years old. Ken Nelson cut me. Wow. And that was in 1954.
Now, did you make the original record of Elvira?
I did. Yes, I had the original record on it.
Now, how old would you have been at that point?
Well, now that was after I moved to Tennessee, and Elvira was released like late '65, early '66, somewhere right in there. And I did a couple of rhythm and blues albums for Capitol at the time, and it's country and what have you. It's a hodgepodge, really, of different kinds of genres.
Well, then Elvira laid around for how long then? The early 70s, mid-70s, before the Oak Ridge Boys did it?
You know, it was like 81, I think.
Oh, was it that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
Ronnie Gant, as I remember, is the one that pitched it to the Oaks.
Well, I'll show my ignorance here. I don't remember your original record. Did you do the Papa Mau Mau?
I did, but not as good as Richard Sterban. Who can do it like that? You know?
Did you write the words
Yes.
Papa Mau
Yes.
Mau?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's brilliant.
You know what? There are songs that you might say have classic poetry in them, and then there's songs that have magic feel. And Elvira had the magic feel.
It sure did.
And I love those kind of songs.
It sure did. So many people say, and not just our people here in the room, but the fans say, they love to hear the songwriter's interpretation of their own songs. Could we get Dallas Frazier to play a couple songs
I'd love
on us?
to. Can I borrow that mic?
No, you can't have my mic.
Sure you can.
Bill, he had out Elvira in '81 by the Oak Ridge Boys, and I had out 14 Karat Mine in '81 that he wrote.
That was his song too, wasn't
That was
it?
a very
what
good
a great
year.
Song.
Mailbox money right there.
Yes, sir.
I need a mic.
14 Karat Mine. How did you get a hold of 14 Karat Mine? Did he come play it for you?
No, I found it at the bottom of a stack of tapes that I was looking for a song to record, just the real good special song. And I had it so long, or somebody had had it so long, I went through all the cassettes till I got to the bottom, and it was the last tape in the box, and it was on a 7.5 reel-to-reel. And it was from Dallas Frazier, and I put it on there and made my night. But he's one of very few writers I can think of that had 2 #1 songs in the same year.
Wow.
He was smoking up.
Hat.
Thank you, Bill.
Lay a little bit of that monster you wrote for Jack Green
Off with,
on us.
There Goes My Everything. I wrote this song when I first come to Nashville, the winter of '63, and it might have been the first song I wrote when I moved here. I know it was one of the first ones, and it. The story is actually about a good friend of mine that was going through a divorce at that time, and I got the inspiration for it from that. But anyways, there goes my everything. Jack, this is for you, buddy, and thank you for doing the job that I can't do. I hear footsteps slowly walking as they gently walk across a lonely floor. and a voice is softly saying, darling, this will be goodbye forevermore. There goes my reason for living. There goes the one of my dreams. There goes my only possession. Oh, there goes my everything. As my memory turns back the pages, I can see the happy years we had before. Now the love that kept this old heart beating has been shattered by the closing of a door. There goes my reason for living. There goes the one of my dreams. There goes my only possession. Oh, there goes my everything. There goes my everything. There goes my everything. Woo! Thank you.
So good. Dallas Frazier, who wrote it. How did Jack get it? How did it get from you to Jack Green?
Let's see. I forget who plugged it to Jack. Somebody at Hubert Long's office, I think.
Were you singing it?
Yeah.
Were you singing the demo?
I had a demo on it. Yes. Yeah.
No wonder he
Yeah.
liked it so much. You
Oh,
sang it so well.
I mean, he's one of my champions, and he did just a fantastic job.
Well, it was
on
the song of the year, wasn't it? I know it was
Yes, it
record
was.
of the year.
67. Yeah.
Hey, Bill, I wanted to ask Dallas. I heard a story that the security would not let you in to the CMA Awards. Is that story true?
It is and it isn't. It was my fault. Okay. They asked me for some ID, and I didn't have any, and I wasn't doing very well in those days. I indulged in the bottle at the time. How can you say it? I stay drunk a lot.
That's the country way to say it.
Yeah, that's a country way to say it, and I don't do that anymore, and I'm glad to say that. I don't do that anymore. But I kind of got belligerent about it and sold up, and I just left. It was my fault. It was my fault.
So you didn't get to
I missed
hear
the whole thing. I went to a bar and missed the whole thing. Yeah, and I'm sorry about that.
Are you an ordained minister?
Yes, sir, I am.
I thought you were.
Yes.
Man, it just turned your whole life around. Now, I've heard Jack on the Opry sing the last verse of that song different. Did you write that, a religious version, and He is my everything?
Yes, I did.
How does that go, the lyric? Do you remember? Because it's very, very powerful.
Oh, my.
That's okay if you can't. I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Something about
After
days of
the
darkness?
lightning and thunder, after the last bell has rung, I want to bow down before Jesus and hear him say, "Well done, my son."
He is my everything.
He is my everything. Yeah.
That's amazing, man. You're an inspiration to a lot of us who try to write songs
thank you.
and who try to live our lives a little better than maybe we did otherwise.
Well, you know, I mentioned yesterday that if we'd have watched you, Bill, and listened to you, you would have been a mentor for many of us, but we wouldn't slow down long enough to do that. And I mean that with all my heart, because I made a pretty good mess of my life. But God is good, isn't He? All the time, yes.
Lay a little bit of Papa Mau Mau on us.
All right.
Let everybody in here join in.
All right. Can I get me a drink of water right quick?
Dallas Frazier.
Elvira, Elvira, my heart's on fire, Elvira. Oh, eyes that look like a heaven, and lips like a cherry wine. She can show enough to make my little light shine. I get a funny feeling up and down my spine. I said, 'cause I know my Elvira's mine. I'm a singing Elvira, Elvira. My heart's on fire for Elvira. Oh, now giddy up on Papa Mau Mau. Giddy up on Papa Mau Mau. High your silver airway. I said tonight, Lord, I'm gonna meet her at the Hungry House Cafe, and I'm gonna give her all that loving I can. Yes, I am. She gonna jump up and holler, 'cause I saved up $2, and we're gonna search, and we're gonna find that preacher man. 'Cause I'm a singing Elvira, Elvira. My heart's on fire for Elvira. Oh, giddy up on Papa Mau Mau. Giddy up on Papa Mau Mau. High your silver airway. I said high your silver airway.
The man that wrote it, Dallas Frazier.
I got a question.
Wow.
I got a question. I want to know if anyone in this room has ever heard him preach. Has
Has
anyone
anybody
ever?
in the room heard Dallas preach?
I
I heard him at Tommy Collins'
If
funeral.
you talk to him, you hear him preach. But he does still preach. But I'm really glad you're back to songwriting. But every once in a while, he keeps preaching. And one of these days, Sharon and I have been trying to get to see him for about 3 years, and we're going to.
We just need
one
to
of these
take a
days.
bus, don't we? Busload of us to show up.
He's good.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah, Bobby.
I lived in California for 10 years, and I remember Dallas when he was a skinny little teenager singing with Cliffy Stone. That's where I got to meet. But you wrote Alley Oop. Remember the big hit by the Hollywood Argyle? Alley Oop.
Alley-oop is Alley-oop was #1 50 years ago this summer.
Wow.
Whoa.
But what I was wanting to talk about, I don't think I ever told you this. I did albums, Skeeter Davis and I did 2 or 3 albums together. And one of them, we recorded one of your songs, I'm So Afraid of Losing You Again. And Skeeter and I have been working in the Studio A at RCA for all day long, and we were tired because Skeeter and I's duets were weird because she was a great harmony singer and I wasn't, so it didn't mix too well. But we'd been working all day and we were very tired late in the evening, and we were standing right in front of the console, and as we started on your song, I saw a big rat come out of the storage room.
What studio
and it ran and got underneath that speaker over here, and I thought, God, don't let Skeeter see that, or we'll never finish this. And we got to the end of the song, and that rat darted, it was a big one too, it darted right at Skeeter, and we were on that part, and said, I'm so afraid of losing you again, and on again is when that rat darted at Skeeter. And she screamed and almost blew the top off of that studio. And it ended, and I said, make me a copy of that, and we're going home. And I still got it.
Wow. That's funny. I hadn't heard that. Yeah, that is funny.
Well, you've had a great songwriting career, and as somebody said, you're back writing songs?
Yes,
again?
I am, Bill.
Wonderful.
I started having just some feelings about doing this again, and I won't go into a long, I won't belabor this, but I went through a thing that I didn't feel like that it was conducive to my Christian faith, and I think a lot of people can relate to this, but I was wrong. I was wrong about the way I felt about it, but it took a long time. I quit writing the last of 75, or say the first of 76, and I wrote a couple of 3 demos during that 30-year period that I was on what I call a sabbatical. God didn't put me on it, but it was just kind of self-imposed. But I was introduced to Christ too through very strict religion, and it wasn't Bible theology. It was just man's theology. But I started really understanding that God had created me to ply my craft, so to speak, to share my gift with the world, and to go out and rub shoulders with the world and keep the faith of Christ in my heart, but go out and love people and entertain them and help them to cry, help them to laugh, whatever it is they need. And it was just a revolution. It was a revolution for me and my mindset. And this started in about 4 years ago, and it really crystallized the last couple of years. And I went a long way around in saying, yes, I'm working again, and I think I'm writing some of my best stuff ever because I've traveled, I've been there, and I've done that and this, and I'm not on a treadmill. No more treadmills.
Good for you, brother. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that with us. I couldn't help but think Jan Howard while he was singing Elvira. One of the great quotes, and everybody was all into it, one of the great quotes of all time, the night that President Nixon came for the opening of the Grand Ole Opry House. Jan Howard had to follow President Nixon and Roy Acuff and all of that. We've all seen the footage of that night. And you had one of the greatest lines. Do you remember what you said? Because it's been quoted everywhere.
I think it was something like that I've had tougher acts to follow.
No, that wasn't No, you walked out on the stage and you followed the president and you said, I wouldn't give this spot to a dry cleaner.
Oh, yeah,
I was wondering if you felt that way following Elvira.
Oh, yeah, I sure do. Yeah, I do remember that quote. You know, it was kind of, you know, the president of the United States, but he didn't do yo-yo too well either. And he didn't play the piano too well either. So, and I also told him that I'd had tougher acts to follow, Grandpa Jones and Minnie Pearl. So, yeah, am I following? Sure. Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. You came out of California too. You had moved out there, and you were part of that that California sound, that Bakersfield sound that came out in the '60s. And this is one of those songs that kind of came out of that era. And,
where's the microphone?
It's right behind you, right there.
Okay. Yeah, it was one of those songs. It was written by, I was on Challenge Records at the time, and Joe Johnson was my producer. And this song was written by Dave Burgess, one of the Champs, Dave Burgess and the Champs. I don't know how this came out, but, you know, yeah, I like it. It was a successful record for us at that time, and good old West Coast shuffle. And we'll do it. Well, you're too many teardrops to lay. Too many teardrops to lay. If you hadn't been untrue, well, I'd still be loving you. But you're too many teardrops to lay. Got your letter yesterday. Read every word you had to say. But I've heard them all before. They don't fool me anymore. And you're too many teardrops too late. Yes, you're too many teardrops too late. Too many teardrops too late. If you hadn't been untrue, well, I'd still be loving you. But you're too many teardrops too late. All right, it's all yours. This is the time they two-step out in the hallway out there in the Texas dance halls. And I was just there. My heart don't know what to do. It still has this feeling for you. But if I took you back again, you'd hurt me in the end. And you're too many teardrops too late. Yes, you're too many teardrops too late. Too many teardrops too late. If I took you back again, you'd hurt me in the end. And you're too many teardrops too late. I did. Thank y'all. Thank you.
Oh, that's good. That is so good. You had a nice compliment when Mike Johnson took the turnaround there on the steel. What did you say?
I said Ralph Mooney'd be proud of that, Mike. That's that West Coast sound for sure.
How about it for the band? They're great. Carol Lee's helping out over there too. Carol Lee and Dennis and Jennifer. Thank y'all. I looked over my shoulder while Jan was singing that. Colin Ray, who's with us for the very first time, was you sitting back there singing right along.
I know. I've always been kind of, well, not kind of, a student of everything of country music, and hearing these songs again live by the people that put them out and wrote them I'm just kind of nervous to be sitting here, to be honest. I don't get nervous very easy, but I'm just surrounded by so many people that I've admired for so long and looked up to, and it's one of those times where, as you've been in, when you've been in the business a while, you learn to appreciate perks and little things that come your way more so than maybe when you first started out and everything was going just one after another, and you're so busy. Like Dallas was talking about a treadmill you get on, And after you get back, you've done it a while, you get to look back and go, man, I'm so lucky. I'm so blessed to be able to do this and sit here among these people and be included. Very honored to be here.
Glad to have you. You're from Oklahoma?
No, I was born in Arkansas, a little town there, but didn't live there very long. Grew up in Northeast Texas.
Okay.
There's another one down there, too. See, he's from Longview, and I grew up in Texarkana, and Longview used to beat us in football religiously. I've never gotten over that. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll figure out a way you can get even with him before the day's over.
Please, it wasn't me, I promise.
No, I love Neil. We've done a lot of shows together over
Neil
the years.
McCoy, great to have you
Great
here, buddy.
entertainer, great singer.
Some
Don't come any better.
You're not going to let Colin sing in a minute, are you?
Beg your pardon?
Is Colin going to sing?
Uh-huh.
Can he lower a couple of keys so we can sing along with him? All that sings along with him is girls. They're the only ones who can sing that high. He sings so high.
Not me.
You know what's funny about that? Because when I was a kid, I used to want to sing like Merle Haggard. And I thought I was a baritone. And I would try to do the songs in the original keys, and and I would always had a hard time bottoming out, but I didn't realize I was bottoming out. And not until I got in the studio with Jerry Fuller, who produced my first album, he says, man, you're a tenor. You need to raise it up. And I said, no, I want to sound like Merle Haggard, He says, you don't sound like Merle Haggard. So here's what you do, and pushed me, and I had no idea I could sing that high till him. And so I guess it's good that I did.
Well, you've sure had some successful records. One of the great ones was a song that I don't know if anybody helped Skip Ewing write this or not. I just associated it
Max
with
T.
Skip.
Barnes did.
That's right.
Little
Max.
Max D's the dad, right? I always get him the middle initial confused, and I was just lucky because I was, doing the song search. Came into town, I just had a demo, and I did have a deal. Sony had signed me, CBS then, and we went around, hit to all the publishing houses and whatnot, and Opryland Music Group, Charlie Monk, played that song for me, and I couldn't believe he was giving it to a nobody. Because I thought, this song could be cut by any number of artists and have a hit with it. It was just so good, And he believed in me, I guess, and the rest is history. I mean, everything that happened to me after, none of it would have happened had it not been for that song. I mean, that first one needs to be special.
Well, it was. You want to come up here and sing it with the band?
I'd be honored to.
From over there. Colin Ray with us on the family reunion for the first time.
Let's just sing on this one. This is my talking mic. Would that work okay? I read a note my grandma wrote back in 1923. Grandpa kept it in his coat, and he showed it once to me. He said, boy, you might not understand, but a long, long time ago, Grandma's daddy didn't like me none, but I loved your grandma so. We had this crazy plan to meet and run away together, get married in the first town we came to and live forever. But nailed to the tree where we were supposed to meet instead, I found this letter, and this is what it said. If you get there before I do, don't give up on me. I'll meet you when my chores are through. I don't know how long I'll be here, but I'm not gonna let you down. Darling, wait and see. And between now and then, till I see you again, I'll be loving you. Love me. I read those words just hours before my grandma passed away, in the doorway of a church where me and Grandpa stopped to pray.
I know I'd never seen him cry in all my 15 years. But as he said these words to her, his eyes filled up with tears. And if you get there before I do, don't give up on me. I'll meet you when my chores are through. I don't know how long I'll be, but I'm not gonna let you down. Darling, wait and see. In between now and then, till I see you again, I'll be loving you. Love me. Oh, between now and then, till I see you again, I'll be loving you. Love me.
So good. I was watching Dallas Frazier's face. That's a well-written song, Dallas.
Yeah.
Great song by
Beautiful.
Skip Ewing. And no, you don't sound like Merle Haggard. But man, you
guess not.
You sure sound good. Can we get another song out of you?
I'd be proud.
This guy's had a lot of hit records. Colin Ray.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you so much. Well, I think we're going to do another one that my friend Tom Douglas, first song he ever had cut as a writer. I'm kind of proud of that. Well, I know I disappeared a time or two, and along the way I lost me and you. I needed a new town for my new start, selling VCRs in Arkansas and a Walmart. I haven't had a drink in 19 days. My eyes are clear and bright without that haze. I like the preacher from the Church of Christ. Sorry that I cried when I talked to you last night, but I think I'm on a roll here in Little Rock. I'm solid as a stone, baby, wait and see. I got just one small problem here in Little Rock. Without you, baby, I'm not me. I don't know why I held it all inside. You must have thought I never even tried. You know, your daddy, he told me when I left, he said, Jesus would forgive, but a daddy don't forget. And I think I'm on a roll here in Little Rock. I'm solid as a stone, baby, wait and see. I got just one small problem here in Little Rock. Without you, baby, I'm not me. Lying here upon this mountain bed, my thoughts of you explode inside my head. And like a castle built upon the sand, I let love crumble in my hand. Oh, oh, oh.
baby, I'm not me. And I think I'm on a roll here in Little Rock. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Great job, Tony. Thank you for doing that. T. Graham, I couldn't help but think of your song, Wine into Water, while he was singing the Little Rock.
I wish they'd let me sing that today. I was thinking the same thing, man.
Who won't let you sing it today?
Oh, I don't know. They.
Go ahead and tell them, see?
Well, I won't say that. I was asked to sing something different. But when he was singing that, and I was thinking, Mr. Frazier sitting there, and what I was really thinking was, boy, I wish he could hear Wine in the Water.
Well, I bet he can. I bet we can figure out a way to get it done.
Well, I'm ready.
Before the day's over. It's a great song, but a similar message. A little different.
Colin, it was wonderful, man.
Steve, I appreciate you, brother.
About the same time.
I'm nervous up here singing in front of you guys.
I
never get nervous with that. But
Both of them made me cry. I thought I might get a little reprieve on the second song. Golly, they're...
Didn't Reba have a song called Little Rock about the same time?
It was about a ring, though. Hers was about a ring. That came out, what?
Jerry House
80. Jerry House wrote it.
Yeah.
It was 80s, about 85, 84.
Jenny's going to write a song called Big Rock.
Big Rock for the one on the finger. You're right.
Great.
I had a little rock.
That's right. You had one called Rock Me Back to Little Rock.
Yeah, I did. Still did.
Yeah. Are you, Celie? Are you back in your house and everything after the flood?
Yes, I am. I'm back in my house. I've got the basics. I don't, I haven't had time to hang any pictures or mirrors or any of that kind of thing, but got the basics and back in. I got my ring.
That's all you need.
I'm fine.
That's better than a picture.
Yeah. No, again, I'm so appreciative of all the wonderful people that have helped me. And an interesting thing happened. This has been quite a week for me. Day before yesterday, the phone rang in the morning, and it was Mr. Metcalf from Steinway Pianos. And he said, Jeannie, some folks who call themselves Friends of the Grand Ole Opry asked me to call you and come down here and pick out a piano. And I couldn't even answer him, I'm just stammering, I said, I said something real brilliant, like, I must have done something really good. And he said, I think you've done a lot of things good a lot of times. So went down there, and he said, you have 3 or 4 choices. And I'm thinking a small piano because I don't have a big house. I have just a small cottage on the bank of the river. And it was an ebony baby grand piano. And he said the people want to remain anonymous. They're not just wonderful people in this world. And
wow. Well,
so now I got to take
you lost the piano in the flood?
I did not lose I had an antique grand piano. And I went in there, and it was after the renovation people come in. As most of you know, they tear everything right down to the studding. Part of the floors came up, everything. And that old grand piano was sitting there, and they were throwing tools on it. The water had come up. I had 3 foot of water in the house, so it came up right below the keys. And I knew it had been saved for a reason, and I was totally overwhelmed that day, and all I could think of is, I can't deal with this. And there's a wonderful, young, talented man across the street from me named Chris Marion, who's a keyboard player and lead singer for Little River Band. And I saw him in the street, and I said, Chris, you are young enough and have the means to handle this today, and I don't. I cannot see this beautiful instrument be ruined, and I want you to have it. So I gave my piano away so that it wouldn't be destroyed. And I always heard you got paid back tenfold, and my friends, I certainly did. It's just amazing.
That is one of the nicest things I've ever heard of anybody.
Well, good.
doing.
I didn't know you hadn't heard that.
No,
yet.
no, I didn't. I heard about the washing machine.
Yeah, that's another whole. Yeah, it's pretty interesting right now because, of course, everything had to be replaced from under the ground up. And so I have all new appliances, all new technology from TV, sound system to computer, and I don't know how to run anything. Just nothing in the house, you know. But we're learning as we have time to be home.
Well, you know how to sing. You hadn't forgotten that.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
I have to follow Colin, right? Well, let me tell Neil McCoy, this is where we lower the keys.
Yes, good job,
You tenors don't have a thing to worry about now, okay?
Put it down there where us men sing.
That's right. This is where us guys do it. Last year when we did the Grand Ole Opry cruise, I was trying to write something different for the show and try to include some songs that everybody might enjoy. And it occurred to me there was a lot of wonderful female performances that don't get heard that much anymore. And I put this song in the medley, and I had so many people ask me to please pull it out and do the whole thing. So we hope you'll enjoy hearing our version of the story of the Ode to Billy Joe. Yeah. This band is totally awesome on this. It was the 3rd of June, another sleepy, dusty Delta day. I was out chopping cotton and my brother was baling hay. About dinner time we stopped and walked back to the house to eat. And Mama hollered out the back door, y'all remember to wipe your feet. She said we had some news this morning from Choctaw Ridge. Today Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Yeah. Well, Papa said to Mama as he passed around the black-eyed peas, that Billy Joe never had liquor sense. Pass the biscuits, please. Well, there's 5 more acres in the lower 40 I gotta plow. And Mama said it was a shame about Billy Joe anyhow. Seems like nothing ever comes to no good up on Choctaw Ridge. And now Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Brother said he recollected when he and Tom and Billy Joe, they put a frog down my back at the Carroll County Picture Show. And wasn't I talking to him at the church last Sunday night? I'll have another piece of apple pie. You know it don't seem right. I saw him at the sawmill yesterday up in Choctaw Ridge. And now you tell me Billy Joe's jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Well, Mama said to me, child, what's happened to your appetite? Cooking all morning and you haven't touched a single bite. That night, young preacher Brother Taylor stopped by today. Said he'd be pleased to have dinner on Sunday. Oh, by the way, he said he saw a girl who looked a lot like you up on Choctaw Ridge, and she and Billy Joe were throwing something off the Tallahatchie Bridge. About a year's come and gone since we heard the news about Billy Joe. Brother married Becca Thompson and they bought a store in Tupelo. There was a virus going around, Papa caught it and he died last spring. And now Mama doesn't seem to want to do much of anything. And me, I spent a lot of time picking flowers up on Choctaw Ridge and throw them into the muddy water of the Tallahatchie Bridge. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Awesome.
Hey, Bill.
Thank you very much.
This gal it has impressed everyone how she has been through the flood. Those of us who weren't on the Tuesday night at the War Memorial after the flood on Sunday, if they were like me, I was at home and I turned my radio on and I heard them talking about Jeannie losing her home, which I had already heard it. She goes out there and does her show with shoes borrowed from Michelle Capps, I think. She was just, she's such an entertainer. I think you're a glass half full person instead of glass half empty. I've never seen anything but that out of you. And she just was such a
appreciate
testimony.
it. Well, thank you. I heard some folks say that night to me, or said to me, I can't believe you just lost everything and you're out here at the Opry singing. And I said, well, it's not like I could sit home on the sofa and watch TV.
Larry Butler.
I'm dying to ask this question. Several people told me they saw your interview with, was it Anderson Cooper, the guy from CNN, that talked to you about the flood and everything. And he said, I'd like to apologize for the media for not really letting everyone know how bad this really was. And he said to you, is there anything you need or would like to have?
Yeah.
And you said, Botox.
And they said, what do you need, Jeannie? What do you need right now? And I said, Botox. But you know that FEMA doesn't pay for that.
No.
I don't think that's right.
I had to know for sure.
It wasn't Anderson Cooper, but
yeah,
I love him, so I can dream that I was interviewed by him.
Gene Watson, everybody, one of everybody's favorite singers. Does it bother you at all? I may have asked you this before.
Yes.
I don't mean to follow Jeannie. You are such a singer's singer. There's a lot of us that would never qualify in that category, but every singer loves to hear Gene Watson sing. Does this put extra pressure on you? Do you feel like you got to do even better than normal?
I wish they'd quit that.
No, you don't.
Really, really and truly, Bill, I give all the thanks to the good Lord above. He gave me the voice, and I try to do the best I can with it. But there's nothing in the world to me any more frightening and nervous, making than to be standing on the Opry stage and kind of glance over to the side and all these people are looking right at you, waiting for you to drop that note or not. And I drop enough of them. But it's one of the greatest compliments I could ever have. But I feel like I'm under the microscope a lot of times, and so I have to put it out of my mind and just sing it the way I feel it. What else can you do after Dallas Frazier and
When you're on the Opry, Gene, or anywhere, those people standing at the side of the stage are standing there in admiration. They don't want to miss.
I appreciate that, and I got to say, Colin Ray just knocks me out. You know that Little Rock. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. That was one of my all-time favorite songs when it was out, and of course,
I Don't Need a Thing at All is one of my all-time favorite songs. I used to try to do that justice, but I never could. You have so many. Thank you.
I appreciate it. There's so many fantastic singers here that I admire, you know, so much. Con Hunley, one of the greatest, you know. My friend Ricky Skaggs sitting back
Ricky
there.
had something. Ricky, we're glad to have you here. It's the first time you've been on one of the family reunion shows, and we're glad to have you. What did you start? You started to say something to him?
Well, back in the 90s, I hosted this television show that started out on TNN, then it went to CMT, called Monday Night Concerts. It was live from the Ryman, and it was usually a pairing of young country artists and their heroes, you know, and people that they really loved. And so one night we had a couple of the young stars on that, you know, that had sold quite a few records and had songs in the charts, and we had Gene on that night as well. And it was so funny because those guys had come out and did their thing, you know, and they were, you know, and the crowd was, you know, they were nice, and of course we had a lot of young kids there in the audience, and so Gene Watson comes out there, and of course I'm dying to hear. I mean, I made a request. I said, look, I want Gene to sing Farewell Party, and so we had this wonderful band, and he comes out there and sung Farewell Party, and I know that there was, you know, over half the audience out there that said, who is that? But when they heard him sing, I'm telling you what, he knocked it out of the park, and that whole place stood up when you hit that last note.
That's one of those time capsule records.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's just, you know, and he just keeps on, just you know, night after night after night. And I'm just a big, big fan, Gene. I love your singing, buddy.
Hey, Gene, I got to do the rhyming with Gene back during Fanfare, I think, or CMA Music Fest. Sorry about Fan. Yeah, the new name. And he had, I don't know what time we were on, like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and he was doing, obviously, Farewell Party, and it was your 5th time of the day that you had done that. Oh, Lord. And he killed it. Of course, you knew he was going to kill the high note, and he killed the whole song, but then he hit the high note, and I was hoping that he would miss it, because I was following him, you know. I was just hoping he'd just screw it all up, but he didn't. And he killed it. And I think you told me it was the 5th time that day, and he was leaving then to go do it again. So how many times you sing Farewell?
I think 6 times that day. Wow. Oh my God. That's when you learn to hate that song.
Well, lay one on us. I heard you're going to do the old Take Me As I Am or Let Me Go.
I thought I'd try, but
that's great.
And there's Mo Bandy.
I told Gene, I had to follow him one time, and I told him, I said, if you'd leave that last note off, 2 other acts could go on. Here's it, that far. And Gene, by the way, don't drop a note.
Yeah. Or do.
Yeah, do.
Please do. We still got to sing.
I'll tell you, you folks are just too great. I appreciate it. Now I hope I can remember this song.
Why do you always try to make me over? Take me as I am, or let me go. White lilies never grow in fields of clover. So take me as I am, or let to reshape me in a mold love, in the image of someone you used to know. But I won't be a stand-in for an old love. So take me as I am, or let me go. Trying to reshape me in a mold love, in the image of someone you used to know. But I stand-in for an old love. So take me as I am, or let me go. Oh, just take me as I am.
Ain't nobody gonna have to follow that because we're gonna take a break.